Hey guys, so what I have in store for you today could either be the greatest thing ever or the biggest train wreck since the Titanic. We have no idea. But anyway, introducing my train wreck, my guest. This is Anthony O'Reilly, a kind of a jack of all trades. He is a filmmaker, he is a YouTuber, he is the host of the All Right podcast, which I was actually on not too long ago, and he's also a stand-up comedian, and he's also beginning to dip his feet in the waters of acting. I can't believe I said something like that, but okay. Want Anthony, introduce yourself in a better way than I just did.
Yeah, so how's it going? My name is Anthony O'Reilly, and I don't really know much to say other than what Bobby already covered it all. I'm recently doing stand up again, but during the quarantine now that it's hard to do it. You get me? So we have to wait till after quarantine so to get back into that. But the likes of my podcast and all, yeah, I do podcasts. I started last year, but I only start taking it serious this year, and we're on our 40th podcast now. Our 41st pod, yeah, so 41 podcasts now. James's one will be out today. It's supposed to be out yesterday. Will be out today. On Wednesday. And yeah, I'm a YouTuber as well. I started YouTube 5 years ago on the 4th of March 2015. And I just have over 1,000 subscribers now, and I'm starting to do a bit of acting as well. I want to get into acting to see what can take me, what that kind of road can go down like. So there you go.
And the funny
That's
thing
me.
is acting is what I know you from because the first thing I think I saw you in was your short film, The Interview, with because it starred my favorite actress in the whole world that I've ever worked with, the great Rebecca Christina Flynn. And yeah, I thought, yeah, nice little film. Do you want to talk about that? The idea for that, or how it kind of came about.
Yeah, I wrote that film. It was the original film was actually supposed to be real dark. It was supposed
Really?
to be about these two people that bump into each other, and this guy, his life is so depressing, and he just doesn't see any joy in life. And he bumps into this girl in the park, the way the opening scene goes, and she bumps into him. But this girl is kind of like she's lost as well, but you kind of have the feeling that she's together, and he gets a message off her, and he this is the original, by the way, if anyone's wondering, whoever's seen the interview. um yeah, but the original one is that it ends up that the girl actually has more problems than the fella realizes, that she like abuse at home, and she's suicidal and stuff like that, and she just doesn't want to live anymore, and he kind of helps her through that. But in the end of it, she ends up taking her own life.
Oh,
And he never got,
Jesus.
yeah, and before because they were supposed to meet up for coffee so many times, but something always came up. But he thought that she didn't like him because she was always making up excuses, but she had an abusive boyfriend, that where his friends would bully her. There was so much in depth into it, and I kind of wrote that in the time where I was like, right, I was kind of going through something. I wasn't going through stuff like that, but I was kind of going through like things like texting this girl, always making up excuses and so, and it just never worked out. So I kind of based that around me and a girl that I used to like a lot. And then after that, um, a few months later, I was kind of in a better place, in a happier place, and um, I started writing the interview. But I said I'll open with that, and I'll put it into a comedy. So I said, why not have two people? One is just like I like and describe him as me. It just
I
it
was
just
literally
goes
going
with
to
the
say this guy
flow.
is you.
Yeah, it literally goes with the flow. He's annoying. He's funny.
He's
You
not annoying.
know. Yeah, I tried to write him to be annoying for the girl's sake because she found it annoying. But and then the girl's point of view is the girl, um, she is real like, I have to work hard. I have to get a job. I have to do this. She's always following things with life, like always following it by the book. But this guy actually makes her realize that sometimes you need to chill out and you need to relax, and you can't take things so serious. But also, she teaches him that sometimes you have to. Do you know what I mean? There is important to do that. You can't just go about your life being chilled out and just not worrying about things. But it's a nice little ending to it as well. And so, and when I wrote that, me, I I wrote that, and I casted Rebecca as the girl anyway, because I wanted Rebecca to be in something, because me and Rebecca was the first ever person to text me while starting YouTube. And she said, "Hey, just want to text you saying that what you're doing, it's great. I love your videos." And she's the first ever person to reach out to me and tell me something that I was good at. So she kind of gave me the boost. I would say she gave me a boost to go, "Oh, someone's liking it. Oh, no one's texting me saying they like it. So I'm going to do more." So I don't think if she started texting me and people didn't text me, because everybody, like, I know people like the videos, but it is nice to get, yourself, it is nice when you
Yeah.
work hard on something that someone texts you, or you're getting good feedback and they're saying, "Oh, I really enjoyed this. I liked watching it. Keep it up." Even that, keep it up. It feels, it's rewarding. That's what it is. You don't ask for it, but when you get it, it's a nice feeling. Like, it makes you do more.
Jeez, I always this. Like, I always complain.
That time it took me weeks to save up, because I wanted to have an interview room, and I wanted to um do a scene in an interview room. And I goes, right, why not book a hotel room, like a meeting room, and have it professionally looked? And I got my friend Lee involved, got Casey involved. I was even the interview, I was in it for like one or two scenes, just coming in to say, next. I got my girlfriend Nicola involved in it. She was just saying Nicola Malloy or whatever, and she'll go, yeah, and she'll come up and do it. Everybody was helping me out. And I had loads of extras that day. I had about 9 or 10 extras, and they all pulled out me.
Oh,
All pulled out on
always
that
the
day,
way.
on that morning, on that night.
That is always the
And I
way. Yeah.
was, yeah, and I'm so annoyed. And I understand, because they're probably like, I don't want to go this far to fucking go do something that I'm not getting paid for. They were getting food provided for them and stuff. Like, that's the best I could do, making sandwiches. Nicola made sandwiches. We bought crisps. We went to Deals. We literally got loads of stuff, load of drinks, and all that food went to waste. And my €150 that I had to save up for weeks and weeks, the guy that done it, he's real anxious. He was really anxious, but he really wanted to do acting. And to this day, I still think he is good actor, but he's just too nervous in front of people. He's good when he's doing monologues and he's sending people. I was like, fucking hell, this guy is good. I don't want to mention his name, because just in case he ever sees this. But we had to end up scrapping it. And I was like, shit, after spending that much money and that much time and effort. And then I realized and said, do you know what? Fuck this. I know the script. Me and Rebecca will do it. We went to Maynooth and we filmed it in Maynooth. And we filmed the whole film within a day, about a day and a half. And we put it out there. And now it has like 1.3 thousand, yeah, 1.3 thousand views or something like that. And to actually go through that, it kind of learned me about the stress that, like, the likes of yourself now would have to go,
Oh, God.
you'd have to go through. And it learned me a lot of lessons about people and depending on people. So you kind of have to, if you pay them, I know they'll turn up straight away. They're not going to turn down a paid job unless someone, like, a real serious thing happens in family or friends or so. But yeah, that's kind of what the interview is, and that was my background for the interview.
And what was interesting to think is, how it started as a much darker story because you were in a bad place, and then it changed when you kind of got into a better place. That actually happens in the industry so many times, because I'm sure you've heard of a film called When Harry Met Sally.
I heard of it, yeah. I've
Yeah,
never seen it.
basically, the guy who created it, the original message was meant to be, men and women can't just be friends, and they end the story, just their relationship doesn't work. But I think he started writing it after he'd had a divorce from his wife or something. But then by the time he kind of got around to it, he met a new woman, and so he just rewrote the ending to have them end up together after all. So
That's good. I like that. It's a good
yeah,
story.
and I have to say, that was my first impression of you doing anything anyway. And I was really moved by the ending.
Alex, thank you so much for what you did in there. You didn't have to.
It's alright. I didn't even know anything about the comedy anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of like, I liked putting comedy into it, and there's some serious parts as well. But when you watch the ending of it, and for spoilers for anybody that's watching, I'm so sorry. But when you realize that she went to the bathroom and she came back, and Alex was my character, he was annoying her, and Alex could see that this meant so much to her. So Alex gave up his spot because she was late for the interview and she wasn't going to get it. So when she came back and that music started playing and you heard what Casey said, saying, no, he's not here. He actually gave a spot to you. And then he waited outside for her and he waited until she came out. And then he started talking. And then she realized this guy is actually a great guy. And I wanted to put comedy into it, but I also wanted to put in a moment where it's like, oh my God, that's so nice. That is so, like, it's a nice touching. And that's what I like doing in my films, for films like that. I like serious moments, but I like to bring comedy into it. But I like them moments. It's like Adam Sandler films. The way it's all comedy, but there is parts like me and Nicola watched Click the other
Oh
night,
God, that's
and I can't watch that film because every time we watched it, I cry. I literally cry. And I watched it with Nicola for the first time. I was like, "Get your tissues ready because you're gonna cry." And she's like, "No, it seems funny." I goes, "You're gonna cry." And the part with the old man is that, and then when he's at the end when he's dying, and so, man, tears will run down me. And that's where I kind of because I like kind of a lot of people don't like Adam Sandler films. They think they're real, that they're not put well together and stuff. But honestly, just for me, I love that kind of stupid comedy. I love it. But he does give meaningful, heartfelt messages into it. So that's where I kind of got that from, is kind of from Adam Sandler films as well. You have to put them moments into it. Yeah, it just that's my opinion. Like,
that sort of brings me to my next question anyway, because I was going to ask, you've been inspired to make films yourself anyway, so I'm sure I know what it is for me. That one film that kind of made me go, yeah, I wanna create something as well. So can you remember what it was for you, or was it a
yeah.
combination?
The reason why I wanted to start making films is because I have a friend, his name is Marcus Rochford, and he actually does a podcast now with his friend Kevin Green. It's called Nostalgic Horse. I think, yeah, Nostalgic Horse. But they review a lot of films and stuff like that as well. And it's really they know a lot about the film. But when I started, I wrote Marcus got me in. He showed me a lot of Tarantino films that I've never seen before, like Pulp Fiction. Like, and on my wall right now, I have Pulp Fiction right there, like a big poster of it. And when I watched these films, man, I was like, holy shit! All these stories merging into one, and all of them are so different people, but they all connect together. And I love doing it. And ever since I was a kid, man, when I had a crush on this girl in school, and it was for years. And there was this competition where you have to write a story, and I wrote a story about me and her going on holidays, but I didn't mention the names. But people in the class knew that it was me and her. But she liked another fella, so I put him in I put him in the story. But basically, we went in. But you know what you were saying when Harry met Sally, where at the start it was good and bad, and then it went good. Well, mine was the opposite. At the start, me and her went on holidays. It was grand, and then at the end, she left me for this guy. And the teachers read it, and she read it out, and the whole class was just sitting there going, "Oh, this is good." Like, they were interested. So I was like, I like that kind of reaction. So ever since then, I love writing stories. My dad told me, I literally, if I could show you, he has it on the tape. When I was literally 3 and 4 years of age, my dad said that I would line up teddies out in the hallway, all my teddies, or on the couch, and I would perform. Like, I'd just do a load of do. And my dad said he remembers sitting in the sitting room, and he's looking out into the hallway, and he goes, "You are in your own world. Like, there was no one around you." And he goes, "You were performing it, and you were singing, you were dancing, you were kind of acting, you were doing these voices." And he goes, from a young age, he said to me, from a young age, you've had that from a young age. He goes, "You just wanted to entertain people. You just want," and I goes, "Yeah, well, it makes kind of sense." But sorry, but going back to it, my friend Marcus Rochford got me inspired to do write films and make films and kind of make scripts. And then I made my first ever series called Dead or Alive, and that was my project. I made 6, and I got friends of mine. We done it, and it was the most funnest time ever making it. We used my cousin's house for the house party scenes and getting rid of the body and stuff.
Yeah.
We used her house. She went over to my ma's, and she said, just use the house for a while, and we used it for the whole day. And we got my brother Ryan involved and everything. And it was the most funnest time to do something. But it was also the most stressful time, because when Marcus knew his stuff, and I do regret doing it, but at the time it had to be done. But I was writing this script and I knew what way to do this script, and I knew what way the story was, but Marcus didn't read the stories. He didn't read the scripts. So he was doing it from, we had two different opinions and two point of views. So he was trying to do it his way, my way. And people that were acting, all of our friends, kept saying to me, he's annoying me. He's doing this, he's doing that. He keeps taking over because I'm too nice. I won't say something. When back then I wouldn't say, I would now, but back then I wouldn't say something. But the day that I eventually, we were on a bridge and there was a part where someone has to get shot and stuff like that, and he was taking over basically, and I needed this scene to be perfect. I had fucking Moby playing in the background of slow motion, but I thought it was the best thing ever. But when I watch back at it, I'm like, oh my god, this is mental. But yeah, I had to say it to him. I had to say, listen, this is my thing. You're helping me out. I need to be in control of this. And that kind of started. We didn't really talk for a bit and stuff like that. But we're talking now on and off recently. And he's doing really well for himself as well. He makes he writes scripts as well. And so he'd be a really interesting guest to have on if you could. He's very intelligent and he knows a lot about the film industry, a lot. Like he knows a lot about films as well. But yeah, that's my inspiration. Here's my inspiration to start doing it, was a friend of mine.
And so there was no specific film. It was just kind of being introduced to all
It
of
was
these
just
things.
it was just all the Quentin Tarantino films, and he was showing me, and then he started showing me Richard Pryor and everything, and I was like, who's this fella? And then I know he's a stand-up comedian now, but I was like, who is this fella? And I was watching a stand-up, and I was like, man, this fella's funny, and he's just the reason, man, that what I'm doing today, he's the reason. But for any films, it's because of him, and it's the Quentin Tarantino films that I started watching. Like so if it was a filmmaker that inspired me, it'd be Quentin Tarantino. I'd love it. For The Hitman, we're supposed to do The Hitman, and that the Pulp Fiction inspired me for two hitmen to go out, and it's comedy, and that's what, and I can't wait to do that when this is all over. I absolutely 110% cannot wait to film that. Going down to Wicklow, Dublin, everything. It's going to be so good. Like,
Yeah, two of us with Boston accents, isn't it?
I was going to do Boston. Now I'm going to do Irish, Dublin Irish. I'm going to do proper Dublin. I think it'll be funnier, and it'll hit more to people that's from Ireland, because I don't have a bloody big fan base like outside Ireland. So I think Ireland.
You will.
Hopefully I do.
And just from what you were saying there, it sounds pretty much like from a young age, you were always about, performance and entertainment and creation. So, and how long before you kind of eventually realized that that was what you really wanted to do? You wanted to create stuff?
Probably 2015 when I started my YouTube channel. Literally 5 years ago. I just wanted to do it. And I said, you know what, the reason why I made videos is because at the time I felt so low and I was really sad, and I was going through a breakup, and it was like 3 years on and it was still affecting me. And I was just getting, I know this sounds like I'm like a man whore or something, but I was getting with girls and doing things, and so, but it just there was nothing to it. There was no connection, and I just kind of, I got with girls, and the reason I did is because I didn't want to feel alone. I didn't want to be alone. So I know that's a horrible thing to do to a girl, leading her on, but I just, at that time, it was something that I thought I had to do, and yeah. So basically, that's it. Like, it was horrible. I can't. Sorry, I'm going into that now, but sorry, I forgot the question.
No, it's fine. I mean,
Can you repeat it, please? Sorry.
No, I mean, this is way more interesting than anything I could ask. So, but I just thought of something. So, I assume you've heard of Eminem.
I have indeed.
And do you know his song "Not Afraid"?
I do indeed.
And do you know his? Actually, that was another example of something that started out dark, but then changed around. Because that album that it was on was originally called Relapse, but then kind of based off his own struggles anyway. And then, like, while he was making it, he ended up changing it to Recovery.
Yeah.
And there's a fantastic line in Not Afraid that says, "I had to go through that place to get to this one."
Yeah. I think is us as teenagers as well. When you're a teenager, everybody goes through their own kind of stuff
Oh
or
god, yeah.
hormones, and we're trying to find ourselves. We're trying to discover ourselves, and like still now, I don't know who I am. I'm still trying to find myself. But I just remembered the question that you asked me. Yeah, so I'll go back to that. So the reason why I wanted to make videos and stuff, and why I started doing is because of all that dark stuff, and I was like, right, I want to make videos for me to give me something to do. And when I seen they were getting a good reaction, people were actually texting me saying that I felt real down today or so, and I watched a video and it cheered me up. And it just clicked in my head, and I goes, that's what I want to do. That's the reason why I want to do this. For people out there that can just, I've said this so many times on my videos on the channel. I goes, if people can just click off for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I can get their attention, and they can just forget about their worries for 10 minutes, and they're laughing, I've done it. That's the goal to set out to do. And I know for a fact that what I've set out to do, I done it, because I know there's a lot of people out there that would text me saying that. And it's just a good feeling knowing that you can do that for someone, you know?
You've done that for me as well, because I've kind of never been quiet about how difficult it was just to even get 4 episodes of the Gumdrops made anyway. But you've been one of those people, like, from day one. You've always been like, you've been sharing our posts, you've been commenting, you've been giving me feedback, and you've just been kind of encouraging me. So
Yeah.
and there's plenty of times I've just wanted to just kind of throw in the towel because it's been so difficult. But then I just remember Anthony and all the other people have said such good things as well. That's what motivates me to keep going. So I have to thank you for that as well.
Yeah, no problem, man. We have to, like, people like us. We can say that we want to be in an industry. We want to have a big following because of the things that we do. They deserve a following. They deserve people, like, do you know what I mean? We deserve for people to watch our work. And I would say that we're not there yet. We're still in the same boat. And I always say this. I'm saying this bloody years. The likes of me and you, along with a lot of people that I'd say and a few people that I know, we're all in this big, huge boat, and we're all literally going to the same destination. Some of us will jump out of the boat and go back and say, it's just not for me. They'll swim back. But people like you and me, Bobby, me and you, will sit on that boat, and it doesn't matter if it takes fucking years to sit on that boat and get to that destination, because we know when we reach that destination, it's going to be worth it. That boat ride is going to be worth it. That long wait is going to be worth it. So me and you, we're going towards something. And I know if I'm fucking 50 years of age from now or whatever, and if I don't get there, I'm not going to be like, oh, I wasn't satisfied, because that journey itself taught me so much. Do you get me? That journey, sitting in that boat, that magical boat, learning all these things, knowing that I didn't jump out like the rest of them. I stayed in this boat. Maybe we never reach our destination, but I'm the one that stayed on that boat along with other people. Do you get me? So I know that's kind of my thing. Like,
yeah, because even you talking about the experience you had filming Dead or Alive, when you had to have that moment with Marcus, saying, like, this is my thing, that taught you, how to be a director, how to shape your vision,
exactly.
With the interview, that taught you about some things are just going to happen that are out of your control, but you can still rebound and just create something even better from that.
Exactly.
And I can even just see the evolution. Obviously, I've now watched Dead or Alive, the first thing you made.
You can see the progress. Like, you can go back and watch it.
From the interview, because I enjoyed the interview. It was like a nice first film. Then to the Lotto Ticket, that was like, and it was like just such a great improvement. And it really showed me, Anthony is someone to watch anyway.
Yeah.
And this is going to the deep stuff once again, but I'd say, would you say that you've sometimes had people kind of assuming that, you're fearless because, you put yourself out there and you're everywhere online and you're kind of not afraid to put content out. But I know for a fact that, you're much more complicated than that, because would you like to explain to people, that you can still put stuff out and still be, really anxious about the results, and just you can still have that fear even if you are confident as well?
Yeah. When I first started doing YouTube, I had no fear. I didn't care what people thought. And then as I got older, I then I don't know why, but I thought it'd be the opposite. Like, but today I've learned that, like nowadays I've learned that if someone's negative posting on you or people are doing that, they have nothing else to do. They have nothing else to do. They're going out of their way to say something to you. I don't have time for people like that. So like when it's negative, I don't have time. It's like, right, well, obviously there's something wrong with you, have problems of your own and you're trying to take it out. That's how you deal with it. But for the likes of myself, I still put out videos today and I take them down. I put them on private. There's so many videos I've done that I've put on private and I've just deleted them. I haven't shown them. And I do if I do a video and it doesn't go well, and it shouldn't affect me, but even nowadays, like last week, like 2 weeks ago, I done a video and it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. Like I knew I could do better, but I just wasn't in the mood. And I literally closed the curtains. I lied in that bed and I did not get up out of that bed. I just sat there with ice cream and I ate the Ben and Jerry's ice cream. The dog's chilling beside me and I just watching it and I felt so shit. And that's what I need to say for people as well. I need to say that to people right now. If you're going to start doing a YouTube channel or a podcast, I know you want people to watch and listen. I know you want people to react, but don't let it consume your whole life, because for me, I tried to quit YouTube once or twice. I can't. I honestly can't. If I don't do that, then I've nothing to do, and then I'm just sitting around and I'm depressed down my head. So people do see me online. I'm like, what's cracking, guys? How's it going? What's up, John? Like going mad. I don't know why. I think this is dangerous, but I can go from it to, and that's it. And when I used to make videos, I used to go, right, get happy, get happy, get happy, get happy. People don't want to see us sad. People don't want to see us sad. Who's going to watch a depressed fella? So I was like, 1, 2, 3, boom. And the camera just came on and I just boom. But every time I'd say, like, I do a skit where I'm over here and then I have to be over there, the chopping edit. So I go, what are you doing today? 1, 2, 3. Well, I wouldn't do what you're doing. 1, 2, 3. Sure, I wouldn't even do it. Get me? I had to put on a persona. I had to put on, and I think all of us when we're in this industry, when we're meeting people and so that, we all kind of put on that we have to, because it just in my mind, no one wants to sit down with that person that's always, oh yeah, like that's just me personally. But it did affect me. All that I did get negativity for a while, and my videos weren't doing good. So like that. So for the people that think that if you watch my videos, if you do watch my videos, if you know who I am, you watch my videos and you think, oh, he's always a cheerful guy. Trust me, I'm not. I'm really not. I do it because I want to make people laugh. And if it's a good video, it cheers me up as well. So there you go. That's that.
And one thing I really admire about you is your honesty and openness, because, you know, like after this whole thing happened, you put out a podcast just saying, guys, I feel really shit, you know, and you're just being so real and open, and not like in, you know, just a destructive way. You were just being honest, you know, but you had a positive outlook to it. You know, it's like, accept that you feel shit right now, but you can get through it, and you know, it will pass. And yeah, I meant to say something else that, you know, almost like playing a persona, and I get that as well, because I think a lot of people tend to get the idea that, you know, because I'm a nice, friendly guy who's always kind of positive and cheerful, and for the most part I am. I don't like the idea of people thinking I'm some kind of saint who has no problems or who has no flaws as well. So, and I actually kind of I take a lot of cues from you, you know, in being more open and honest about the bad times as well as the good.
Yeah, I think we need to. I think because I wouldn't know much about it, but I'd say you'd know a lot more than me. I'd say doing acting and getting these jobs, it does take a toll on you. It does when you're trying to, and you're trying your fucking best, and you know that some of these people that get these works, you know that you could do better. It's not any narcissist or anything like that. It's nothing to do with that. Like, it's nothing to do with, oh, I'm just better than everyone. It's just, you know, some people are why am I getting this job? So I not getting this, and it is hard. Like it
I
kind
can
of
tell
can
you a
take a
story
toll.
actually from when
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is before I've had any roles. I think I've been auditioning for maybe I want to say 6 months at this point and gotten nothing, right? And this was one play I actually really wanted to get because it was kind of fun. It was a bunch of guys in Dublin who would switch into a sort of a film noir setting. So, and they'd like switch into like the accents, like putting on like an impression of The Big Sleep or whatever. And I
Mm.
went all out for the audition. I even like came up with my own monologue, and I even just and it was a fun audition as well because I mentioned that I used to be a wrestler, and they actually got me to do an entrance, as if I was a wrestler in the audition anyway. And I kind of I nailed the lines anyway, and they said very impressive, and they gave me a callback. I fucking bombed at the callback, and I was
Oh,
there, and I could feel it slipping away from me.
yeah,
And they said at the end, "Okay, we'll let you know in a couple of days." But I found out just a few hours later that I hadn't gotten it.
yeah.
And again, it was like you. I just kind of collapsed on the bed, and I was just like thinking,
What's
"Are we
yeah,
gonna keep doing this?"
yeah,
And I think I felt like shit for about 5 minutes, and then I think, as I was saying, like, "Oh God, I can't do this," and then there was a voice in my head that said, "What else are you gonna do?"
yeah.
And I mean, shortly after that, I kind of eventually did get more roles, and I think by the time that play was performing, that was months later, I was in King Lear with our beloved Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
And so I realized, if I had gotten that play that, that I really wanted, then
Yeah.
maybe I wouldn't have gotten King Lear, which that was a really great experience for me. That taught me so much and kind of
Yeah.
helped make me the actor I am right now, even though I still have
Mm.
loads to learn.
Mm.
So, and I try to tell myself that when I'm auditioning, okay, I don't think, oh, I have to get this part, or I have to do this, or I have to do this, or whatever. I do my best to know the scene, know my character, and all the lines or whatever, and I go in as confidently as possible and say, okay, right, this is what I have to offer. Okay, this is me, and if that's what you want, great. That's if not, then that's also great. Thanks for the opportunity. I'll get you next time. Because I think if you want to give acting a try, my advice is well, you've been on the other side of casting as well, where you have to decide who gets the part and who doesn't.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, it's not because the person who doesn't get the part is bad, although I'm sure there are terrible auditions sometimes. They're just not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And again, I've learned to accept the fact that if I didn't get the part, it's I don't know what they thought of my audition. I don't know
Yeah.
what they were expecting or whatever. Just I must have not been what they were looking for.
Mm.
Because my mentor Ross Grant, he used to work as a casting assistant, in the room with the casting directors when they brought people in for auditioning. And he says, I can't remember which soap it was for. It may have been Hollyoaks, but there was one actress who came in, nailed the audition, and went out, and the casting director was just like, "Oh God, she's perfect, but we can't cast her because she's too pretty."
Yeah. Oh shit.
So that's the thing, Anthony. If you didn't get the part, it's because you're too beautiful.
That's what it is, yeah. That's what it is. Now with this hair, come here. At the moment, right? I wanted a haircut and I wanted a haircut badly. I'm gonna address this right now. So I wanted a haircut badly. And you did suggest to give me a haircut, but I was like, no, Bobby. But right now I wish you kind of did.
Yeah, this is
Because
how mine looks.
literally look at yours compared to mine. Right now, right? Right that, right? So it's not faded in. I look like an acorn. Do you know the way the top is like the brown part and then underneath it just kind of comes down like this? Yeah, I look like one of them. My girlfriend tried to do it. She done it to about here and then I didn't like it. So I tried to do the fade and I went up too far. And then this was actually combed over and I could actually comb it over.
I noticed in like another video you put up, and then when you were on the meeting the other day, I saw it. It was like,
yeah, it was like,
hair
oh my
different?
God, what did he do? Yeah, what did he do? I wish I left my hair the way I did when she left it, but then I got me dad to shave this part like to a 6 or a 4, and it's just not blending in. So I can't wait to go to the barber and when
I
it
think it
opens
looks
because they're
fine.
gonna
I
slag me.
like it.
It's cool. It's cool on this. It looks all right on this, but in real life, you can notice that this is like hovering over. Like it's hovering over. You can notice it. So yeah.
Oh yes. How did we get? We got from mental health to hair, which they are kind of
Come here,
related, aren't they?
come here. A lot of girls, man, if their hair's not right, they won't have a good day, you know.
Not just girls.
Same with blokes, just with blokes as well. That's true.
And anyway, before we wrap up, is there anything that you specifically would like to talk about or mention or promote? Actually,
Yeah, I wanna ask you a question.
okay.
If you weren't doing acting, if you just said fuck this, I'm not doing acting anymore, what do you think you'd be doing?
That's a tough thing because
Yeah, because I don't know either.
yeah,
I don't have a clue.
maybe writing because I did write a book that I never got published, and I tried to get an agent and out of it, but I guess it was the kind of fatigue of not getting any responses, and I just kind of left it for a while.
Yeah.
So I'd probably be doing something about that. But I don't know. Does YouTube still count as acting? Because I kind of have found my sort of. I definitely have found. I don't want to say my calling or anything, but I've definitely making my video essays on the Better with Bob channel. Shameless plug. That's definitely analyzing classic films, and that's definitely kind of been kind of my thing. Because even yesterday, I got a comment which I've gotten before saying that someone said that my video helped them with their coursework.
Oh,
Yeah, just they were
that's good then.
studying the film in class, so that helped them. So
Yeah.
I think that would be something I would be doing if I wasn't acting.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's good. I try to, I had a few jobs like retail. That's all I've done, and I'm in there and I'm like, this is so miserable. Like the people around here don't like doing what I do. I don't like doing what I do, and anytime I make a video or a podcast, man, the podcasts, as you were saying with me, that I can be honest. I think with my main channel, I can't be like that, but with my podcast, I can because it's real talk, it's real discussions, topics just like this. So I think podcasting, man. I know I'm 25 in July, and
I
I
would guess
think, but
22 at the oldest.
thank you, thank you. But I know that I won't be doing my Tonto YouTube for that long. Like, do you get me? I'm not going to be like 30, 35 if I have a child still trying to make videos. I'm not. I'll probably do some game and stuff and all, but I'm not going to do comedy sketches. Will I do films? I don't know. I don't. We'll see where the next 5 years takes me. But I know for a fact that I can sit down like this and do a podcast and talk. I would say that I'm a people person. I love talking to people. I do. I love having conversations. But this is something that you could do into your 80s, your 90s. You know what I mean? And you won't feel like, oh, is this kind of silly? No, because the amount of people I text Corey Patton this morning, asked him would he come on the podcast. He's coming on tomorrow, so he's coming on the Thursday. He's coming on then. I'm getting a few more people. I'm texting NHS workers that are currently working in care homes. They're going to be coming onto the podcast. You get me? I'm texting so many different people. I'll have you back on eventually for your podcast as well. And while doing this, we'll be doing Zoom. And I think from now on, like, you know yourself, you've been at the little studio that I had, the little room, and it's good. But I think I said this already in my podcasts, when someone's doing something like this and they're in their own comfortable space, because if they show up to my studio or the little room or so, they're a bit nervous and they're afraid to kind of be themselves. But with this, they're in their own space. They're not going to be nervous. It's literally just like I've only copped on that the recording things on right now. I knew we were doing like a podcast, but I kept zoning out, getting into it, and it just feels like a normal discussion that we would usually have if we were on something like this anyway. Do you get me? So I think that I'll be doing the podcasting, but the only thing I'd like to plug is literally my podcast. I do a podcast. It's usually every Wednesday at 6 p.m. It's called the All Right Podcast, and but I'm going to try to get as much content out there as possible now. I'm not going to do every Wednesday. I want to do like three a week, even Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or either 3 to 4. There would be no less than 3. 3 is the max. The other day I interviewed 3 people at in the same day. I'm just trying to get by and trying to do it. And I also have a podcast. I also have a YouTube channel called Tonto that I was talking about there earlier. And I do comedy sketches. I like the comedy sketches on it. I do some live streams sometimes of games, and I just released a music video called Quarantine that I've made.
The Charlie Sheen thing is still in my head.
It's so catchy, isn't it? It is catchy. It is catchy. And I wrote that, and I filmed that in a day, and then I edited it in the next day, and I uploaded it. You get me? So
Mhm.
I was like, right, this is, if you put your mind to something, if you're bored, just go do that. And I actually have 2 or 3 more songs I'm going to be putting out in my All Right Boys a Story, yeah, kind of versatile kind of style, like comedy kind of that. So stay tuned for that. But that's all I'd like to plug, really.
I want to say thank you so much for coming on here, because I had a feeling if I got you on here, it would just be. I knew it wouldn't be the biggest train wreck since the Titanic. I knew it would be great. So
Yeah.
I'd say thank you for being so open and honest. I love you. Stay safe.
Yeah, love you too, man. Thanks for having me on. I think this, if you keep up this podcast, I'm telling you now, just get guests on that you know. I think you'll have a lot. What else do we have to do? Like you're probably working out, you know, you're writing scripts, you know, we're doing our meetings once a week. I'm gonna be joining them meetings. I'm gonna be joining them meetings now once a week.
I did a belly dancing workout the other day.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
will
god,
link
how
you
was
the
that?
video. We can do it together.
Oh my god, that'd be mad. I tried to do the Beyonce dance. I'm trying to learn it. Show Nicola, and like all the single ladies doing the hips and all. But yeah, thanks very much for having me on. And if any of you guys want to come on to my podcast, if you're watching out there, if you are doing music or you're an actor or you're just doing anything, I like having people on that they're doing something. I don't want someone on going, oh yeah, me and the boys were up in the corner shop and all. And like, I don't want anybody like that on that. They're not interesting. I want interesting people on the podcast that I can talk to. Because my reason for my podcast is that I want to meet new people, but I also want to learn new things. That's like that could be, oh my God, that could be my motto. Oh my God. Well done, Bobby. That's my
What did I
motto.
do?
I've just realized that's my motto for my podcast. I want to meet new
Mhm.
people, but learn new things. That is a good one.
There you go, guys. You
Right.
saw it here for the first time.
Yes, you did. You saw it. Yeah, but there's gonna be a video. James Bond is gonna be up today and so like that. And then I got a guy on called Lennon Keogh, and he texted me on Instagram, and he said to me, "Can I be in your podcast?" And I was like, "Who's this little dweeb?" And then I was like, "Right." So I texted him going, "What do you do?" And I was hoping he would, like, not hoping, but I thought he would say like, "Oh no, I just saw your podcast. Thought I'd come on, a bit of crack." And then he goes, "I make music. I have music on Spotify. I think you should get him on. He's really good." Like and I go, and so I got him on. I was expecting to do a podcast for like 20 minutes. We done it for like an hour. And I was like, this fella is actually so interesting to listen to. Like, he is so interesting. And I also done a podcast with Sean Bryan
Oh, yeah, I saw a
recently.
bit of that, yeah.
He is really interesting. He's an interesting guy as well. So that's all I can plug. I'll be quiet now.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, well, yeah, sorry, guys. This is the actual farewell, so bye, guys. We love you. Stay safe.
Bye.